Hi singers, so this is part 2 of the judging criteria for Karaoke World Championship Canadian Nationals. Dr. Suzanne and Dr. Joey, she's the doctor of singing, I'm the doctor of love. We are going to spend a little bit of time talking to you now about technique. Technique is the second of the 4 categories you're judged on. Each song gets a mark out of 10 for technique. The first subcategory under technique is pitch, the ability to sing in tune and exhibit control of intonation. Now, it's very, very rare in a singing competition for somebody to sing what's called sharp, but it's very common for them to sing what's called flat. Now, in tune is where you want to be. That is exactly on the right pitch. If you're a little above the pitch, you're sharp, and that's really uncommon in competition. But if you're a little below the pitch, you're flat, and that is very common in competition. The way that you can avoid going flat is twofold. First, make sure you're positioning the sound properly, which means you're holding your body upright, you're raising your soft palate, you're smiling a little bit, raising the corners of your mouth into the song, and raising the eyebrows. It makes a world of difference. I'll give you an example here. Ooh. You can hear the difference, and all I've changed is what I'm doing with my face. The other thing you can do to make sure that you don't go flat especially is to keep gas in the tank, which is to breathe. Breathe low, support your sound. You cannot drive up a hill if you don't have enough gas in your tank. So you need to make sure that you're breathing deeply and supporting that sound so you don't run out. Because as you start to run out of air, your sound starts to drift flatter and flatter, and it sounds, for those of you old enough to remember what this sounds like a Walkman whose battery is running out as you're listening to it and it gets lower. So don't let that happen to you. Make sure you're breathing deeply, make sure your face is animated, and you'll be able to stop yourself from going flat, and you'll steal an extra couple points from pitch. Second category in technique is timing, the ability to sing with rhythmic accuracy, taking liberties in a tasteful manner. Now, the key there is tasteful manner. You can take all the liberties you want and make a song your own, and in fact there's a subcategory for that later on in one of the other main headings. But you have to be able to sing on the beat. You have to be able to end up on the right beat, even if you take liberties with it. You can sing a Whitney Houston song, you can sing for as long as you'd like on one of those nice glissandos, or do some appoggiaturas, or some other fancy Italian words that you don't need to know the definition of. But you need to end up on you when the music hits the U. If you don't, you're no longer taking liberties, you're now behind the beat, and that's going to cost you some marks. So make sure you're paying attention to the beat. If you can't hear it, get closer to the monitor or sing less loudly. Because if you go off the beat, it doesn't matter how nice you sound, you're singing the right notes at the wrong time, and that makes them the wrong notes.
Okay, breathing. Supporting the voice with breath control. Ability to sustain notes, taking breaths in correct places, generally between phrases. It's really awkward to listen to if you break up a word by breathing halfway through it. It's bad enough if you break up a phrase, but if you break up a word, I feel it may be a cardinal sin.
It may be. I think they call it the Shatner.
Oh, yes, the Shatner. Never good. Breathing is so important. As Joey referred to, it's the gas in your tank. Don't run out of breath. You always want to take in more breath than you're going to need. If you've got a little bit in reserve at the end, you just breathe it away quietly, take in a new one, and start again at the beginning of the next phrase. I don't like to hear breathlessness. Breathlessness is a very easy way to lose your pitch. A very easy way. You start to lose your pitch, you can't finish your words, everything goes south very, very quickly when you're running out of breath. I can't count how many times I've seen you, all of you, breathe from up here. And you take in a breath, and that's it. It's done, it's over. It's just come in here, and it's stopped here. We need you to breathe down deep. We need you to breathe. Pull air in as deep as you can, so that as you breathe, your belly expands, because everything inside you is being pushed out of the way by your lungs. So you pull in the air deeply, the belly expands, the shoulders stay low, they don't rise. And once you've pulled that air in, you've then got to start to support the note. And as you support the note, by pushing that air out, you pull the stomach muscles in and up to be able to push out the air consistently. Okay.
Our next subcategory is skill. Use of proper vocal technique, singing with an open palate, not shouting, not resonating in the nose, etc. Use and control of vibrato. Now, vocal technique is important because what is good technique for one song might be terrible technique for another song. And the fact that you know the difference is what makes you a great singer. If you don't know the difference, you are a good singer. A classic case in point is a song like My Girl. My Girl by The Temptations. Right? It's very easy to get up and sing My Girl with an entirely inappropriate technique. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. It's not opera. You can't sing it that way. But it's also not Broadway. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. Not the right technique for the song. In the first one, if you were singing an opera song, that would be beautiful. In the second one, if you were singing something from Hello Dolly, it would be spectacular. But you're not. You're singing something by The Temptations. So you need to use the proper technique for it. If I hear vibrato in The Temptations, that's not the right technique. Now, some of you have a natural vibrato. Everybody does, ultimately. But some of you have a very prevalent natural vibrato. The way to make sure the vibrato doesn't come into the voice is to just try ever so lightly to bring the back molars together slightly as you're singing. I'll show you an example. If I sing, ah, you hear my natural vibrato. But if I bring my molars slightly together, ah, I can suppress my vibrato. Now that's not something that we would encourage you to do in all cases. But when a song doesn't need vibrato and shouldn't have vibrato, the best way to lose marks is add vibrato.
Absolutely. I'm cursed with the very strong vibrato. The next category is diction, correct pronunciation of words and clarity. I'm sure just from the way that I speak, you can probably pick out that, again, this one is very dear to my heart. It's my language, don't mess with it. It's important to finish your words so that we understand what you're saying. And if you're singing a classical piece, I honestly do expect to hear every word cleanly and correctly. But if you're singing a rock song or a pop song and you're going at the end of every word, no, I'm not going to be terribly impressed. There's a balance that you have to achieve. And again, as Joey was talking about, it depends on the song that you're singing. What you have to make sure, though, is that the story of the song you are telling, we need to be able to hear. If all I hear is, what? What are they singing? Is this in a foreign language? I don't know. It really does turn the audience off. It's not just the judges, it turns the audience off. And remember, you have to interact with your audience as well as with us.